Welcome. This is Nimasa this week, and my name is Cordelia Obe. We've been talking about the day to commemorate the seas and oceans of Africa. Today on the program, it will be no different, as we'll be bringing you something we've put together specially to tell us why that day has been celebrated. And also a man has been celebrated. I'm talking about the past Honorable Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Rotimi Chibuike Amechi. He was honored recently. That we'll be sharing with you too on the program. So welcome. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
2015 to 2025 has been set aside by the African Union. The reason is to celebrate and really find out what our seas and oceans have to offer, how to make them sustainable, and how we can protect the seas and ocean. To commemorate that, every year, the 25th of July has been set aside to celebrate the seas and oceans of Africa. To mark that day, we've put this together for us to really understand what God has given us in the forms of our seas and oceans.
The oceans are a significant source of oxygen for our planet and are instrumental in the capture and storage of carbon dioxide. Marine species provide important ecosystem services such as the provision of food, medicines, and livelihoods. They also support tourism and recreational activities around the world. The Nigerian 853-kilometer coastline is intermittently interrupted by more than 35 estuaries, which open into an extensive lagoon system in Lagos, Delta, Rivers, Ondo, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River states. Scientists claim that Nigeria's aquatic region and animal life is more than the population of Nigeria, currently put at about 200 million. Nigeria has more than 12.5 million hectares of fresh water with robust diversity. There are over 200 species of fish in Nigerian inland waters, 14 species of reptiles, 7 species of mammals, 59 species of amphibians, and 72 species of water-associated birds. Imagine 48 species of bony fishes in Lagos Lagoon alone, while the whales and dolphins find home in the waters around Brass and Bonny Island. The Nigerian marine environment continues to come under various threats, usually linked to developmental pressure, thus negatively influencing marine biodiversity. Such threats include pollution of coastal waters as a result of many man-made activities, gas flaring, constructions, mining activities, land reclamation, among others, deforestation of the mangrove swamp, coastal erosion averaging close to 20 meters annually. As the African Union AU set aside 2015 to 2025 as the decade of the African seas and oceans, the management of Nimasa has adopted a multifaceted policy to achieve her set goals of commitment to marine environment management. The next level mantra of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, which has economic diversification as its thrust, is the guiding principle upon which the management of Nimasa, under the leadership of Dr. Dakuku Peterside and his executive management team, hinged its mission to achieve and sustain safe, secure shipping, cleaner oceans, and enhance maritime capacity in line with the best global practices towards Nigeria's economic development. Nimasa is one of the earliest maritime administrations in Africa to domesticate the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, popularly called the MARPOL Convention. The domesticated regulatory instrument for implementation of all annexes of the convention is already being implemented. In line with the decision of the International Maritime Organization (IMO) to reduce fuel consumption by vessels, as well as greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide emission on voyages, the management of Nimasa has launched and installed a fuel consumption data collection device on a Nigerian flagged vessel. This project, which came as a fallout of the Maritime Technology Cooperation Center, is the first in the entire West and Central African region. The Dakuku-led management at Nimasa sees interagency collaboration as central to effectively harnessing the potential of the nation's seas and oceans. Thus, the Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) recently entered into the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency (NOSTRA). The MOU is on marine oil spill incident management. Nimasa has regulated the construction of a 5,000 metric ton per hour capacity liquid waste treatment plant (LWTP) at the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) dockyard in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The facility is now fully functional and is part of efforts to enhance marine protection, thus improving sustainable use of the Nigerian marine biodiversity. In line with international requirement for countries to inspect at least 15% of foreign vessels entering its domain, the agency inspected and surveyed over 600 vessels calling at Nigerian ports, an unprecedented feat which shows that Nigeria is alive to its port state and flag state responsibilities. This led to a reduction of vessels with deficiency from 18.99% in 2015 to barely 14% in 2018. Little wonder the International Maritime Bureau in its 2019 first and quarter reports showed a steady decline in maritime crimes in Nigerian waters despite a twist of fate in the Gulf of Guinea. Nimasa has developed a strategic plan for effective collation of fuel oil consumption data of applicable Nigerian vessels of 5,000 gross tonnage and above. The agency has also embarked on human capacity development to enhance measurement reporting and verification of greenhouse gas emissions. This is to enhance Nigeria's technical capacity in collection, evaluation, and report of ships' fuel oil consumption data. The agency is constantly engaging ship owners, bunkering companies, DPR, NPA, and other relevant bodies on implementation strategy to achieve the Sulphur 2020 CAP objectives of the International Maritime Organization. Nimasa is taking strategic steps to deal with the issue of piracy, as the Anti-Piracy Act President Muhammadu Buhari has recently signed into law will enhance Nimasa's quest to effectively harness Nigeria's marine biodiversity. The establishment of the Integrated Security and Waterways Protection Infrastructure, also known as the Deep Blue Project, the introduction of an annual maritime industry forecast to guide investment in the sector, engagement of 1,000 marine letter marshals are amongst other initiatives of the Dr. Dakuku-led management at Nimasa to ensure cleaner oceans and safer shipping. General Jonathan India Garba is leading the team of Nimasa Governing Board who have provided leadership for the Dakuku-led management to succeed so far. This is not forgetting the fact that the National Assembly and the Federal Ministry of Transportation have been providing the desired supervision, enabling these unprecedented achievements. The fact that the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is committed to developing all aspects of the Nigerian economy has been the unseen motivation for the Nimasa management. Efforts of the Nimasa management have received international recognition as they were recognized at the Convention on Climate Change COP24 with an award for championing a green economy in Nigeria. All these efforts of Nimasa is to ensure that the Atlantic Ocean and all Nigerian fresh waters can provide food security for Nigerians, create jobs for Nigerians, generate income for Nigerians through tourism, recreational activities, and serve as a source of renewable energy for Nigerians, amongst others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for you to join Nimasa to harness Nigeria's marine biodiversity for accelerated economic growth.
Nimasa This Week is the program you are watching. Thank you very much for being a part of the program. And thank you was what was said to the former Honorable Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibuike Amechi. Under the aegis of Team Maritime Nigeria, this special dinner was put together to say thank you to the minister for all the work he had done for that sector. Let's bring you some clips, some sights, some sounds, and some beautiful moments from that.
From the walkway into the hall, the success story of Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi spoke to all guests as they arrived one after the other. State governors, captains of industry, ship owners were present at the occasion. Mr. Jim Ovia was chairman of the event. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo was special guest of honor, and his speech was read by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Ade Igbaye.
Let me use this opportunity to thank all of you stakeholders for the support that you gave the Right Honorable Amechi during his time as minister, and for your contributions to the success of the vision of our administration for Nigeria's transportation sector. We do not take your partnership and support for granted. As a government, we are here to serve you and make life easier for you, which is why our priorities have included infrastructure and ease of doing business reforms. In this next level, which we have just commenced, rest assured we will not relent in our efforts.
Today, we all know that if you want to transport yourself from Kaduna to Abuja, the safest way and the quickest way to do that is not even by driving yourself, it's by taking the railway. And the railway works and it functions very well. And that's because we have a leadership who made sure that worked. And we're talking about Rotimi Amechi again.
The Director General of Nimasa and the Managing Director of the NPA both had words to describe the man who provided leadership for their agencies through the Federal Ministry of Transportation.
This is a man who is seen from different perspectives by different persons. His friends see him as honest and forthright. His enemies think he's too blunt. His friends see him as a man of vision and courage. The enemies think he's very stubborn.
In the words of the chairperson of Team Maritime Nigeria, the Honorable Minister has put in place the basics required for the growth of the Nigerian maritime sector.
Right Honorable Amechi transformed the maritime and transport world in the country like no other before him, and left in his wake a benchmark by which all subsequent ministers will now be measured.
It was a night to celebrate. A book chronicling the man Rotimi Amechi was unveiled, and the celebration was infectious.
I will not forget you. Believe me, the stakeholders. You owe me nothing. I rather owe you. I owe you. You know, when he said I will cry, it's not necessarily tears. I'm a bit emotional because, yes, my people celebrate me. Those from River State. So some of them, or most of them, have helped in one way or the other. So what have I done for you? Tell me what I've done for you. Exactly nothing. No, it's not true. Those are my responsibilities as a minister. The difference is in style.
When His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, appointed the Right Honorable Rotimi Chibike Amechi as the Honorable Minister of Transportation, he was described by many as the man with the hearth and drive to evolve a world-class transportation system in Nigeria and to position it as a hub in West and Central Africa. The Nigeria Railway Corporation, Nigeria Ports Authority, Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa, Nigeria Shippers Council, National Inland Waterways Authority, Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology Zaria, Maritime Academy of Nigeria Oron, and the Council of Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria were the agencies of government through which his mandates in the maritime sector were to be achieved. The Honorable Minister simply provided leadership for the Nigerian Ports Authority to become more transparent and efficient. Terminal operators are guided to provide maximum service as contained in their concession agreement. NPA provides enabling environment for stakeholders and users of the ports to excel. The NPA has expanded dredging maintenance work to new areas to expand the long channel. The Warri Port is being dredged to 7.5 meters to allow bigger vessels use the port. The construction of a simulation center at Apapa Dockyard for the training of pilots, the completion and inauguration of the Command, Control and Communication Project of the NPA, the National Single Window Project, which will make clearing of goods within 48 hours, is near full implementation. The story at the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa is the same. Honorable Rotimi Amechi provided leadership that saw a new Nimasa. He provided guidance for the rebranding of the agency, from improved ISPS code implementation to improved port and flag state administration, the presidential assent to the Anti-Piracy Act, reintegration into the international community, and the establishment of an integrated maritime surveillance and security infrastructure, popularly called the Deep Blue Project, are some of the achievements that talk to the Amechi leadership of the Ministry of Transportation.
When people think that a particular thing cannot be achieved, he believes that there's no impossibility. Once you can dream about it, once you're determined, you can achieve it. He has shown it, not just in the maritime sector, in the entire transport sector, that there's nothing you are determined to do, you cannot achieve.
The minister allows us as heads of agencies to define the path. He provides the leadership that is required to guide us. And I would like to commend him for what he's been able to do within the period.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now truly the foremost economic development agency, providing regulatory system that fosters efficient, effective, and competitive service delivery in the transport sector. The Kaduna Inland Dry Port was commissioned during the tenure of the Honorable Minister by President Muhammadu Buhari in January 2017. Shippers Council has overseen more investment in infrastructure within the last 3 years, much more than ever before. The Council has developed standard operating procedure for all port users, thus enhancing ease of doing business. Time to clear cargo has reduced considerably, and the number of cargoes cleared in our ports on a steady increase. These are testimonies to the leadership of Honorable Amechi.
It was an inspiring leadership, unprecedented. His achievements are there for anybody to see. But that is because he is decisive, he is incisive, he is a team player. He leads by example. And he allows agencies to operate without niggling interference.
His achievements are visible, yet he's so quiet. He fits into any crowd. And that's what leadership is all about.
During his tenure, Honorable Amechi made conscious efforts to ensure that the over 10,000 kilometers inland waterways add value to the Nigerian economic value chain. Barrow Inland Water Port, river port owned by NIWA, became a reality under Amechi at the Transportation Ministry. He successfully inaugurated the third Governing Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, CRFFN. The drastic turnaround of the fortunes of the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, ORON, from a near-abandoned facility barely 2 years ago. Abandoned projects, lack of maintenance, the classrooms were an eyesore. Both human and infrastructural capital suffered seriously. But Honorable Amechi listened to stakeholders, sourced for competent hands to manage the academy, and today, it's a new song of an academy Nigeria can be proud of. Smart classroom facilities, conducive learning environment, learning equipment of global standard, and our dear man Oron is on the ascendancy. The success story is there for all to see. It's another chapter of the Amechi revolution.
Minister has been the guardian angel of the academy. If other ministers have done this in the past, we would not be where we are today, would have gone higher up.
Growing up at home as a young man, he was called Boy, nicknamed Timmy in his early adult life. During his assembly days, he was known as Ninja in politics. He is called the Lion. For those who have worked with him closely for the past 3 years, have their own description of this gentleman.
He's a simple man.
A determined go-getter.
Encouraging women in work.
Somebody who does not micromanage.
An extremely generous person.
He is extremely hyperactive. He is too active. I tell him always, calm down a little bit, slow down. You are too fast for all of us.
Very accommodating, very engaging, and very open.
He is a leader, and this is just the beginning. You know, we have to treasure such kind of people.
A committed, a socially committed individual.
He is a born leader who at every turn displays rare courage in achieving collective vision.
Today, Team Maritime Nigeria celebrates the landmark achievements of Honorable Amechi in the maritime sector. Time will permit to mention that the rail and aviation sector also witnessed massive improvement under his watch. The Kaduna-Abuja Rail project became a reality during his tenure. The Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge is almost concluded, and plans to rehabilitate the existing narrow gauge has almost been completed. The main runway of the Abuja International Airport was reconstructed. The Abuja International Airport Terminal, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Enugu, and Kano airports are now fully functional. His achievements are due to the support and commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari to the development of transport infrastructure.
Amechi is a person of great executive capacity, passion, great commitment, a patriot who sees Nigeria as one.
It's rare to see a minister coming to site sometimes twice in a month, not just anytime he's coming, my directors go to doctor to make sure that they are fit. because of the stamina that will be required for the inspection.
The first thing, of course, for me, which I discovered about this minister, Amechi, is that he is a great lover of the arts.
Just like the eagle soars higher, in his journey of life, the march onto his next level in life is surely another chapter for this gift to Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give honor to the man Team Nigeria celebrates today. The ninja, the lion, he is Right Honorable Rotimi Chibike Amechi, OON.
Thank you very much for watching the program. We'll be back next week and we'll be giving you a fuller overview of the commemoration of the Day of the Seas and Oceans of Africa. It was a beautiful celebration and we were there, so we'll be the right people to tell you the story next week. Till then, do take care of yourselves and remember to be nice, to be fair with one another, so be what we truly need to be, the greater nation. Take care. Bye-bye.